you've had an Imagine Peace installation in Times Square back in September.
Oh yes, very recently, yeah.
Yeah. And you asked Governor Cuomo to imagine no fracking recently, right?
Yes, I'm still asking. I'm really, really into "Don't frack me" idea because it's very dangerous. I think that to say something like, "Oh, we found a great way to make money. We can put so many incredible chemicals, strong chemicals in the gland, and do this," you know. It sounds like, well, we found a great way to make money by killing people. And I think that's totally
Well, people don't
madness.
also realize that methane, I mean, this is a little maybe boring, but methane is actually 105 times more a powerful greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide, which was in a Dr. Hansen study who works for NASA, so it's not, it's a very legitimate source. And the problem with that is that climate change is something people are still denying, but ultimately we can't afford to release even a fraction of the amount of methane that's in the ground into the atmosphere because it is already saturated with carbon dioxide. And so climate change is, obviously, Sandy is a result of climate change, and it's the ultimate argument for not using fossil fuels. It's not just gas, it's also coal and oil in general. I mean, we all use those things, but we need to slowly decide that we're gonna get off of them. It's like learning to quit smoking or something. And Sandy is an argument for not using fossil fuels. That includes gas, that includes coal. None of them are safer than the others. They're all gonna cause climate change. And people don't realize that they don't want to accept it, but the problem is they're going to use Sandy as an argument for investing in gas because they need to raise money to waterproof New York, essentially, for example. But we have to remember that Sandy's an example of why we can't use fossil fuels and not the other way around.
You see, we have clean water now. New York is maybe one of the very few places that still have very clean water, and we don't want that water to become dirty water. And it's simple as that, because dirty water is not going to be good for our health. And we know that. Thank you.
And if you want, you can sort of follow up by going to the website artistsagainstfracking.com,
Yes, please
right?
do.
And please send a letter to Cuomo, Government Cuomo, that we don't like this situation.
Which you can do from our website easily with one click. And that's the one thing that'll stop him. He's the gatekeeper, and he can either decide to do it or not. And they'll have 100,000 wells within the next 10 years if we say yes to this. And they've only done 1,500 in Dimock, Pennsylvania, and destroyed the water there with 1,500. So you can imagine what 100,000 is going to be like. And just the only thing that we need to do is speak up.
Just keep writing. Because when we stopped writing, then she was saying, well, it seems like people are not changing their minds, you know, that they don't mind fracking, you know. So we have to keep on telling him that that's not true.
Well, they're trying to sell it to us now with the money it's going to raise for cleaning up after Sandy, which I understand. I mean, it's a very difficult situation, but ultimately, Sandy happened because of climate change, so we need to keep that in mind.